Could you talk a little bit about the microbiome project? That's really changed the trajectory of how medicine is looking at the gut now. And could you talk a little bit about that?
Well, you're exactly right. I mean, it's fascinating when you think about it, going back to the time Hippocrates and then going forward to the 1800s with Ilya Mechnikov, the Russian physiologist. We have known about the bacteria that live with us in the gut. And, and the statement that death begins in the colon is one that goes back at least to the 1800s. And it's referring to, that process of, even before we knew there were bacteria there, we knew that something was going on in our gut that contributed. And a long history in integrative and naturopathic medicine of recognizing that digestion and absorption and excretion played an intimate role in our health. And, the term leaky gut referred to the integrity of the gut lining. And that term has been going back, and even the microbiome term going well back into the 1980s. But it was only with the advent of newer techniques that the Human Microbiome Project could start identifying all these bacteria. Prior to the genetic techniques, we were limited to what we could culture out. And given that many of these bacteria, they're living in our colons, they're living in a relatively oxygen-poor environment. They're not aerobic bacteria. A lot of them are anaerobic or facultative anaerobic bacteria. So, you take them out and an oxygen-rich environment was potentially toxic for them. So we weren't really able to culture them. But, coming through the 1990s, recognizing the word and the more traditionally accepted traditional medical term of intestinal hyperpermeability as opposed to leaky gut, and the recognition that there is crosstalk between our immune systems and the bacteria that are there, even the friendly bacteria, and that in that crosstalk, just like the crosstalk that takes place between our cells and our nervous system, Candace Pert's book, Molecules of Emotion, the presence of DNA, the presence of neurotransmitters, us responding to components from the bacteria, inflammation of the blood vessel, particularly after a meal if there's leaky gut because of lipopolysaccharide, which is cell wall component. It really is a very remarkable back and forth interaction that we have with, and typically, when we're talking on this level, we're talking about the bacteria, the symbiotic bacteria, the ones that do things for us, or the commensal bacteria, the ones we just kind of live with, or the dysbiotic bacteria, the ones that have the potential for causing harm.